Hello, it's Uncommon Fossil. Today I want to talk about Lugia Archeops, a deck before rotation that was super strong, but still a very viable deck since rotation, although it's changed a lot with the loss of important Pokemon, as well as all of the type-specific special energies that this deck needs. So the deck is built around Lugia VSTAR, 280 HP. It does have the Tempest Dive attack, 220 damage for energy. A useful attack, something you will use sometimes in the deck, but not the main attacker. Primarily, it's here for summoning Star. It's VSTAR Power, which is an ability that you can use once during the game, and then during your turn, you may put up to 2 colorless Pokemon that don't have a rule box from your discard pile onto your bench. And as you're probably familiar, it is Archeops are the 2 Pokemon you want to get onto the bench at Stage 2, so difficult to get into play. Even more difficult than a typical Stage 2 because rather than a basic Pokemon, it is a fossil card, which is an item card that it evolves from. But you want to get these in play with the Lugia VSTAR Power for Primal Turbo ability. Right, once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 special energy and attach them to one of your Pokemon. So 2 special energy, they both have to go to the same Pokemon, and then you can do it a second time, assuming you have 2 Archeops on your bench, which is what you want to do. So in terms of attackers, you can certainly power up the Lugia VSTAR attack with that, but then we're going with single strike Pokemon because we need special energy and utilizing single strike energy, which provides dark or fighting energy. So we're using Pokemon, single strike Pokemon, the way the attack cost is either dark or fighting. So Tyranitar V is one option. Having a dark Pokemon is useful against the psychic Pokemon that are weak to dark. Sometimes you use Cragalanche for 3 energy. It does 60 damage, and that damage does get boost 20 by each single strike energy that's attached. So that will get boosted up by that at least some. And then you also discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, so that's an annoying mill for them. Not the center of the deck, but it is an option for you there. And then the big attack, Single Strike Crush, does 240 for 4 energy, 2 of which has to be dark. So again, you get that damage boost to at least 280 if you're paying to pay the energy cost. But then with that, you discard the top 4 cards of your deck. So until you're set up, obviously, well, you can't pay the attack cost till you have your Archeops in the bench. And if you use this attack early in the game, hopefully you're not milling cards that you're going to need, right? So that's one downside to it, but a very strong attacker in a basic Pokemon. Then we also have another dark Pokemon, the Yveltal, single prize. Very useful attacker there. Dark Cutter does 50 damage for 2 fights dark energy, and that gets boosted by 40 because you have to have the 2 single strike energy, so it does 90. Single strike wings does 110 for 3 energy. Again, with the boost, it gets boosted 60, so it does 170. And if you're hitting into dark, weak Pokemon, you can knock them out quite nicely. So very useful for knocking out multi-prizers with a single prize Pokemon. And then a 1/1 line of single strike Urshifu, right? The basic V, laser focus, we search for 2 fighting energy. That we don't have basic fighting energy, so not something you use at all. But then impact blow, 180 damage for 3 energy. Now during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use impact blow, and of course you don't want to use laser focus. So then you would just evolve into the VMAX and then use beat down for 3 energy for 100. Or the big attack, G-Max 1 blow, 270 damage, and again that's boosted by the single strike energy. But then you have to discard all energy from this Pokemon. Now, this deck hits through effects. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So any wall-type decks Pokemon do not stop this from knocking it out or doing damage. So that's quite nice there. So those are the attackers. We have one Pumpkaboo to bump a stadium because we can't have Path in the Peak for that one turn that we need to use our VSTAR power. That's crucial. 2 Lumineon V, Luminous Signs to search for a supporter. Very helpful to get set up early on or get a boss at the end of the game for the win. And then a Radiant Tsareena, making this deck more tanky with Elegant Heal. Once during your turn, you may heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. So again, a lot of fairly HP-heavy multi-prize Pokemon. So we want to keep them from getting knocked out as much as possible. In terms of energy, some colorless energy, 3 Gift Energy, where you draw to 7 cards if your Pokemon's knocked out, 3 DTE, which provide 2 colorless energy at the cost of doing 20 less damage, and 3 V-Guard Energy, 1 colorless energy, and you take 30 less damage from your opponent's V Pokemon's attack, so that's useful. And then 4 Single Strike Energy. That's the center energy which we're utilizing here to get those Single Strike Pokemon powered up. It provides, as I said, both fighting or dark energy, and then it does 20 more damage per energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. The nice thing with that is we get to use Urn of Vitality. You shuffle up the 2 Single Strike Energy cards from your discard pile into your deck, so that's quite nice. So we can, especially if you use the VMAX's attack, where boom, the energy gets discarded, you know what? You can get them back in and accelerate them back on the next turn. Very nice indeed. And then going through things, trainers would expect 1 Serena to draw or gust up a V, 2 Judge to disrupt and see some new cards, 1 Professor Burnet, which is a useful card early on. It guarantees that you get 2 Archeops in the discard pile, which is really important, right? You search your deck for up to 2 cards and discard them. Generally not a great card, but it guarantees you 2 Archeops, unless 3 of them are your prize cards, which is unlikely, right? So useful there. And we can search for that with Lumineon V on our first or second turn. 2 Mesagoza Stadium on a coin flip, search your deck for a Pokemon. 1 Penny to put a basic into your hand, which is nice to get a Lumineon V up or some other Pokemon basic we want to get up. 2 Nest Ball for research. 4 Capturing Aroma. That's the item where you flip a coin. And then depending on the coin toss, determines whether it's a basic or an evolution. I always forget which is which. If it's tails, you search for a basic. If it's heads, then you search for an evolution. But you always get a Pokemon, you just don't know what it'll be. 1 Collapsed Stadium, which again bumps path, which we need to do, but also sometimes you go from 5 on the bench to 4. We usually have a pretty full bench, so if we have a damaged multi-prize Pokemon or a Lumineon V that we just don't want anymore, obviously, we shrink the bench and put that 1 Pokemon that we choose in the discard pile along with all attached energies. 2 Bosses Order and 4 Ultra Ball to discard Archeops and search for the cards we need. So a very solid deck. Let's jump in the ladder and see how it goes. This list I got was the exact 60 played at Hartford by the players that came in 2nd and 3rd overall. That's the Hartford Regional that was pretty recent. So a solid deck. Might not be the best deck for the ladder, but it's certainly a solid build. All right, so let's see how this game goes. I'm going to turn on some sound. You can let me know in the comments how you like the sound effects. Waiting for my opponent. Hopefully something happens soon. You know, as with most decks, I want to go first. It's an evolution deck. Did I win the coin toss? No, they won, so we'll see what they choose. Probably they choose first. There's a few decks that want to go second, but not many. Oh, I go first, so okay, that's good. Now I'm a little scared. I have to be careful in that means they have a deck that probably can take prizes turn 1. If they knock out my Tyranitar turn 1, that's bad for me, right? I think the sound's a little loud. I'm going to turn it down. So if you think the sound was better before, I just turn it down. If you think the sound was better before that adjustment, let me know. Well, this is lousy. Play Drapion. So Drapion is dangerous for me. So I have a basic in play. So I will definitely want to get a Lugia down because I can evolve next turn. I will put... Let's think. I'm going to put a DTE. I was thinking Gift, but each of these attacks on Tyranitar takes 2 colorless plus either 1 or 2 dark energy. So I can attack now with a single. If I put 1 single strike energy on next turn, I can attack for 60. It'll be for 40, not much, but it does mill some cards, which could be disruptive. So let's see what I'm up against. Right, Drapion can go in a lot of decks, obviously, because it's very effective against Mew. So a Lost Zone deck. Drapion is weak to my Urshifu. they roping. They might rope me multiple times though too. So wherever things end up, I have no decisions obviously in terms of what gets sent up with the rope because with only one bench Pokemon. I don't know that I'll have one of the difficult decisions with this deck is when you can only Archeops for one card with your Lugia, do you do it, right? Because obviously by doing it allows me to attack a turn sooner. All right, so they play Lightning Energy, so they have a Lightning attacker. So what do I want to get in play here? I want something in play, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to put down my Urshifu. Do I have the VMAX, by the way? I do. If they knock out my Lugia, I kind of lose the game. I can't attack. I think I want to evolve here, right? Can't actually do anything, but that's all right. I'll attach a Gift Energy here. Just starting to get some energy set up and research. I'm not going to Archeops this turn. Oh, maybe I will, though, right? Let's see. I need a head, I think? I need to get an Archeops. Can I get... Yes, I can. So that's quite nice. Got what I needed with my head. So I will get rid of Pumpkaboo because I only need to bump Path to the peak this one turn, if that comes into play. So goodbye, Pumpkaboo. I will take... I think I want to... I think I'm going to want the VMAX next turn. So I don't have access to that otherwise, right? So I'll grab the VMAX. He's nice. Use my VSTAR power. I don't think I want to play the Lugia V because they are playing Lightning attacker. At least I assume they are. So let's start accelerating some energies here. I will do a DTE, and that's a Gift Energy, right? Yeah. So, and I want a V-Guard. Okay, so I have 3 of my single strike energies. I have 2 of my urns. Okay, just counting things up. So I have an urn prized. I think so. I have all the single strike energies. So I want to. I think I want to attack with my Urshifu, right? I think Urshifu seems good. And there we go. Now I can't attach per turn, so I will take a prize, see how things go. Did I make the right question? So like the major decision I made was trying to set up my next attacker, right, between the Urshifu and the Tyranitar. Did I make the right call there? I don't know. So the Zapdos, which doesn't matter in terms of weakness. Well, yeah, that doesn't matter either way. Actually, the Lugia resists him, so that's a plus. So are they just paying the retreat cost? They are. So they can accelerate, and then they can attack, right? Because it's per V in play. I have 3 Vs in play, so they can attack. They do 170. They discard a special energy. That's sad. They'll probably get rid of the V-Guard energy. And they conceded there. So the game wasn't over, but they did not set up well. So got the win. My deck set up pretty nicely. Let's jump in to another game and see how things go. So hopefully we get another. Hopefully the game performs well this game, and hopefully my opponent sets up a little better too. I'll choose heads. My opponent has a Players Cup 4 box. That's nice to see. I think I actually did a little bit in the Players Cup 4 also myself, and I think I have a deck box for it. I didn't actually qualify. I wasn't overly excited about it. I did Players Cup 3, which I did enjoy. The downside was it was a lot of effort, a lot of time. I actually enjoyed the qualifying a lot, but being on the team was difficult. Having an event every weekend isn't bad necessarily, but you have to do it every weekend whether you want to or not. Yes, because you don't want to not be there for your teammates. You want to help them out. At least I do. All right, so maybe a Gardevoir deck, and I had to start my Psychic Week Pokemon, so that's not good. and if that's the case, the thing I don't want to do is some water energy, though. So, okay, so there's some different ways this works. Okay, so... all right, Capturing Aroma. I guess I'm going to research. I don't like my hand, but my opponent doesn't have much. They may have a good supporter. So let's see. So I want Archeops in the discard pile, right? Let's see. Just kind of skimming through here. Okay. So nothing to play. I mean, I could bench the V-Guard Energy. Is there any reason to do that this turn? I mean, it could be, right? It does help me pay my attack cost down the road. I'm probably not gonna... I don't really have the ability to switch with this deck, so I lose an Urn, which is unfortunate, but that's not the end of the world. Okay, not bad there. I have one Archeops in the discard pile. I can get another one in the discard pile next turn. It's okay. The thing I don't like, it's actually very good that I can get an Archeops into the discard pile next turn. My two Archeops in the discard pile. The problem is I don't have a V-Star right now here, but I may hit that with the research. The thing I don't like is discarding all these energies, right? Discarding energy. All right, well, my opponent's got nothing, and they concede again. So, anyway, I don't know what their deck was exactly, but you know what? I will... Obviously, the deck won these games, as you saw. My opponents didn't set up, but my deck got started. You know, the deck started okay in both cases. And so, honestly, the deck's performing pretty well. I got to say, I'm pretty pleased with the deck. I like the way it's functioning. I got to give the deck more play time. Probably see it. This 60 certainly seems good. I don't know what the options are to the 60 to tweak it. I need to look into that. But it's a solid deck. Certainly give it a try. I didn't think it would perform well once rotation hit. A lot of people were skeptical of it also. But it's very strong. It is a bit high roll still. So when you set up, you're in good shape. And you can win in a lot of conditions. So there it is. Strong deck. Not a surprise. Can win. Give it a try. Oh, by the way, I believe I've hit 100 subs. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. You know, I'm doing this because I'm making content that I like making, that I enjoy making. First off, hopefully that comes across. And I'm making content that I would enjoy watching. So hopefully you find, you know, it's a little mix of things. I certainly pay attention to what people like. So when there's videos to get more plays, obviously encourage me to get more videos like it. So just let me know what types of videos you like in the comments and the liking. And I appreciate the subs. You know, these standard decks, which is our big part of the videos. I do some expanded videos, the economy videos, as well as the podcast. So hopefully you enjoy the little mix that I provide, and hopefully you're having a good day, and take care.